NHL insider Frank Seravalli just dropped his first trade targets list of the season. And I know what you're thinking. It's November 20th. Why are we already talking about trades? But Frank says the market is going to start picking up right away. And as you know, the Oilers are going to have to make a trade at some point this season. They have a very clear need on their blue line. They need to add a legit top 4 defenseman to this group. And lucky for Oilers fans, there are 8 defensemen on Frank Seravalli's list. Now, there have been a couple opportunities already this season for the Oilers to go get a defenseman. Timothy Liljegren was already traded this year. Dante Fabro was on waivers. A guy like David Yaremchuk in Columbus has been on the block all season, but none of them have enough upside for me. GM Stan Bowman is going to get to take one crack at this thing. He needs to make it a home run swing. He cannot go for a measly little base hit. The defenseman the Oilers add needs to be close to the level of Mattias Ekholm. They got him a couple years ago at the deadline. It absolutely transformed their blue line. And they paid a lot, but they got a guy with term. Ekholm is still here helping out the Oilers' blue line. He is still a massive part of their success. And that's why when I cracked open Frank's trade targets list, there was one name that jumped off the page to me as a slam dunk perfect fit. And it's Mike Matheson of the Montreal Canadiens. He comes in at Frank's list at number 9, and he checks every box for the Oilers. He's only 30 years old. He comes with one more year after this one, so he has some term. And at $4.875 million on the AAV, the Oilers could realistically find a way to fit him in, or you could entice the Montreal Canadiens to retain some money on this deal, and you'd get him at an absolute bargain for the next season and a half. Now, Matheson isn't exactly a shutdown defenseman, although he moves so well that he does cover up a lot of mistakes, and he is solid in his own defensive zone. But the thing I like about Matheson is his puck moving. Now, you might be thinking, on a blue line that already has Evan Bouchard, why do they need another guy who can run a power play and make a good first pass? But the numbers over the last few years have shown that Darnell Nurse works best with a defenseman that can move the puck. He had great numbers in the playoffs with Philip Broberg, and early last season, he had great numbers with Evan Bouchard. And think back to when Darnell Nurse was on the Oilers' top pairing. He was playing with Tyson Barrie, who was a good first pass defenseman. So that's why I think Mike Matheson is just a dream fit for the Edmonton Oilers. The fact that he is available and potentially on the trading block should be music to the ears of Stan Bowman. If Matheson can be had, the Oilers should be right there calling Canadiens GM Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes and trying to get a deal done. Now, there are some other names there that I like. There's a guy like Ivan Provorov, who is up in the number 4 spot from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's a pending UFA, so it would be a pure rental. His cap hit, though, very similar to Mike Matheson. And what I like about both Provorov and Matheson is that while they are left shots, they can play the right side, and they have a ton of experience playing the right side. And what that would do is give the Oilers a lot of flexibility. If you want to play these guys on the left side behind Darnell Nurse, you can move Brett Kulak to play with Nurse, and all of a sudden you have an impact defenseman, whether it's Provorov or Matheson, on your third pairing with Ty Emberson, and all of a sudden your blue line is looking very complete. Or you play him up with Darnell Nurse, all of a sudden you have a pairing that can take away some of the minutes Mattias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard play, and your third pairing with Brett Kulak and Ty Emberson is a pure shutdown duo that you can trust on with heavy defensive zone starts. So I think getting one of these guys that are a left shot that can play the right side, or vice versa, is huge for the Oilers because of the flexibility it could give them. And while I like Provorov, and I do like some other names that are on the board, like Marcus Pettersson from the Pittsburgh Penguins, the slam dunk fit for the Oilers is Mike Matheson from the Montreal Canadiens. If he is available, Stan Bowman should be calling like crazy to get this deal done. I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, who is your dream target this deadline season for the Edmonton Oilers? Is it another defenseman? Is it maybe a goalie? Or do you think they got to add even more firepower up front? Drop a comment below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. You won't want to miss any of our trade coverage here at Oilers Nation. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.